Now entering Nerdist.com.
James Bonding Podcast. James Bonding Podcast. It's the James Bonding Podcast. It's the James Bonding Podcast. It's the James Bonding Podcast.
Good to be back.
It feels like we're a little past our prime, and maybe we need to do some war games.
No, yeah, we are Connery and Diamonds Are Forever right now, coming back for a last hurrah. I'm Matt Gorley.
Matt Myra.
Our guest today, Aaron Abrams. You'd know him from, well, Hannibal, first of all. And then a favorite show of mine, Slings and Arrows. Also, the LA Complex.
I have very little to do with any goodness those shows
That's
have.
not true, and I can vouch for the lies that are coming out of this man's mouth.
It's great to be here, guys. Thank you.
Aaron, welcome to our James Bonding podcast.
Oh, it's really my pleasure.
We like to ask our guests about their whole sort of life experience with James Bond, when they first got into it, what was the first one you saw, where and when.
This is part of why I wanted to have you on this show.
Yeah, I was saying to Matt, this feels like a culmination of my existence a little bit. I was very obsessed with James Bond as a kid. I got the first money I think I ever spent was on those VHS sets that they would sell with
Well
the shiny
spent money, well spent.
Yeah.
Oh, the shiny labels.
The shiny covers. Yeah. Oh.
Didn't they have silver labels too?
Yeah, they really popped.
Yeah.
And I would make charts. I was mainly obsessed with bad guys and deaths. So I would make a lot of lists and charts. I basically wrote fan fiction. I wrote like short stories.
Oh man, should have brought one in today.
I don't still have. I was thinking about what it was. It was from the perspective of a henchman. I remember that, which was
What?
Oh, that's
I had
a fun take. That's a
Your
right
it
own
was
henchman or one of the
one I made up. Who had like an arm like Tee-Hee, like a metallic arm. Only he could unscrew the end and make put a rapier or a hammer or something
like
a
Inspector
different
Gadget meets
yes, an
Tee-Hee
evil
kind of
Inspector
thing? Oh,
Gadget.
this
And
is
in my
great.
brain, he was played by Rosie Greer, and his name was Tidbit.
Oh, great name.
Jeez.
And that's why I would write these ridiculous short stories about
You were born
Tidbit.
too late. You should have been born in the era, like the 70s more era. You would have made your name writing those films.
So I was very obsessed. This is a big deal for me.
What was the first one you saw?
Live and Let Die? Live and Let Die, which is also my favorite. I don't know if I'm sure that's not a coincidence.
It fares well on this podcast.
Yeah.
We're all fans of it.
I
Yeah.
love it.
We're big Roger Moore supporters.
Yeah.
Yes, Roger Moore. I mean, not to skip ahead, but I think Roger Moore would have been good in this one particularly.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin anything, but I think Sean Connery was perfect in this one.
Oh,
I think we may find we all had a pleasant surprise with this.
Yes.
film.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, me as well.
It's good.
Yeah.
Good to know we're going into this positive. We're taking a...
And so your favorite is Live and Let Die.
Yes.
First
yes.
one you saw.
Yes, and just it kind of has. I mean, so when the first time you don't. If there are things that are bad about that movie, it doesn't register because you're just like, what, the amazing chases and crazy bad guys and the gadgets and stuff like that, where you're like, oh, it's all so new to you, and you're like, what is happening?
That movie really does have it all as far as James Bond tropes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's got your watch that is also a saw. It's got it's
black
got
exploitation, just like every other Bond
every other
film.
Bond film. No, but it's got your super memorable henchmen.
Yeah.
You know?
And a bunch of them, too.
Yeah.
You got Whisper, Tee-Hee.
Whisper T and Baron Samedi
Yeah.
were, I mean...
And Jane Seymour. What more do you want?
Oh, you don't.
You don't want any more.
anything more.
And him in, like, ridiculous places that he should not be.
Right.
Like Harlem and Bahamas, or not Bahamas.
Is it
like
Jamaica? Right? Yeah.
but Voodoo Island, Jamaica.
Yeah.
And wherever J.W. Pepper's from. Where's that? New Orleans.
Right.
J.W. Pepper. Live and Let Die is fantastic. And this, it's interesting is like, when we were tasked with, do we do this movie or not? I was of
Never Say Never again?
Never Say Never again. I was of the thought of like, do we have to?
Because then if we do this, do we have to do the original Casino Royale?
Right.
Oh.
It opens up a Pandora's box
It
that I
does.
wasn't prepared to go down.
Right. But then you just made the call one day, and
Yeah.
then we were stuck.
James Bond Jr. We're gonna pretty much
No.
We're gonna very soon we'll be
too
doing
far.
that cartoon.
As
But
just a fan, I think this belongs as part of the thing.
Yeah, I think it's.
I
it's-
agree.
Like if you don't look at the politics and whatever behind it, where it's like maybe a knockoff theoretically, it doesn't feel that knockoffishness.
No, and
Like,
it's
doesn't-
certainly.
I think it's easier to watch than Thunderball.
Oh, for
agree.
sure.
I agree completely. It was probably an improvement, and I think like the history of Kevin McClory's entanglement with Fleming, you got to cover this, right? I mean,
Right,
we're doing
absolutely.
the Lord's work here.
We're doing the off-book Bond movie that was not part of the Eon canon.
Yeah, the redheaded stepchild.
Now, if you've listened to this podcast before, we have gone over the story a little bit. But for those of you who are like, I'm not going to listen to these goddamn mission briefings where they don't even talk about a movie. Well, guess what? Okay. So, Kevin McClory, who, is it fair to say that he helped Ian Fleming with the book?
No, they originally
were
got
doing
together and to do a treatment for a movie,
Right.
and that got scuttled, and then Fleming took that idea and wrote the book Thunderball from that. So Blofeld, Spectre, and a few other things, even some conceptual things like gambling and stuff, got tied into Kevin McClory's estate. And then after...
electronic video games.
We're going to need 15 minutes for that alone. That was all tied to Kevin McClory, so he was awarded the rights to those characters and to remake this story specifically.
He had the film rights to the Thunderball story.
Which aspects of that story is he tied to? Like, are they allowed to use, and were they allowed to sort of vary from?
So they could use anything, even things that he didn't create, like M and Moneypenny and stuff. But he specifically had the rights, I believe, to Blofeld, Spectre, and then the basic story of Thunderball. And then
The basic story being Spectre steals nuclear weapons and holds the world hostage.
Yeah.
And boats, something to do with boats.
Yeah.
Right.
But then Fleming went on to do like a trilogy of Spectre books that, so it was a good thing that they did. Did they do those first? No, because they used Spectre in You Only Live Twice and Diamonds and Forever. But by then, it was after that.
And they retconned Dr. No into Spectre.
They
Remember? Yeah.
Oh,
Dr. No is like...
From Russia with Love, you mean?
Yeah,
they
they
talk about it.
yeah.
Yeah, so this film is the last cinematic use of Spectre and Blofeld until Spectre comes out this November.
And we don't even know if Blofeld's in it.
No, we sure don't.
Because we're not reading any spoilers.
No, we're not. But we still kind of know, don't we?
Christoph Waltz, he still claims not to be.
Well, good for
Blofeld.
him. I hope
You
not.
know what I mean?
We'll
Do
see.
you think we're running into a Benedict Cumberbatch is not Khan situation?
I get that feeling. I don't know. I'm really trying to stay south of the spoilers, but I don't know how
Me
well
too.
it's going.
The TV spot, we should talk about very quickly.
We should, and then Christopher Lee.
Oh, God. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Knick-knack, Tabasco.
Give your dog a bone.
They released a 1-minute TV spot for Spectre, which had pretty much 30 seconds of footage we have seen, and
Yeah.
then 30 seconds of footage we have not seen, thanks to the NBA Finals.
Did you happen to see this by any
I didn't see the
chance?
new one. I've
Yeah.
only seen the one where kind
Well,
of nothing
Yeah.
happens.
It's just so,
Plenty happens.
well,
Ooh.
it's just like quick shots of action, and then it ends with a little sustained moment.
I'd just like to talk about the fact that they have the Aston Martin drive over another Aston Martin and take its roof off.
looked pretty good.
Yeah, it looked great.
Yeah,
There's explosions there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm in.
yeah. There's
Explosions in the James Bond? There's actual like, things are going to explode in this one?
Guess
That's
what?
more than you saw
Oh.
in the last.
Yeah, there was nothing
That's
in
true.
the last one.
You see the roof of a car get ripped off, and then the wings of a plane too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the car?
No, that's
No.
a different shot in the snow.
It's a snow cargo plane, it looks like.
see
Are you
it?
guys going to be upset if he isn't Blofeld?
No.
You're going to be
No.
upset if he is Blofeld?
No.
I guess it's all in how they do it.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm just ready.
Yeah,
Whatever
okay.
they need to throw at me,
Yeah.
I'll take it. So yeah, the TV spot was great. Really amped up. Looking forward to it.
They show the delivery of James Bond, and I really liked
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I won't say anything more. If you
Well, you're
wanna
kind of
experience
into
it on
him
your-
in general,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like you're,
it's
you're all
It's
in.
a dream boat. It's a dream boat.
Daniel Craig is just a hunk.
When he's coming out of the water in Casino Royale,
Yeah.
the water is crystal clear and somehow still murkier than his baby blues.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Time
And
slows down when he
because
gets
you've
out
got
of the
the-
water, and that's not even
That's
the film.
true. He comes out of the water and you get the trifecta of the baby blue. You got the water, swim trunks, eyes.
Boom.
Good work.
Baby blue.
Good work.
James Bond's favorite color, apparently.
And mine.
Daniel Craig Blue. That's your
That's
favorite.
what you call it. Yeah. I'm having a terry cloth play suit made for me. A guy's making one.
Oh, you're getting it remade in a size
it's a
that
long
will...
story, but the one he wears in Goldfinger.
Sure,
yeah.
sure.
My girlfriend's lovely sister made one for me, but it was an Australian size thing, and it didn't translate, and I literally couldn't get in it.
Oh,
And so a new one's coming, and we'll see. I mean, just to update the listeners, that's important news, I guess.
Yeah, no, they want to know. They're very curious.
Yeah.
What's happening with Matt Gorley's terry cloth jumpsuit?
you should just come out with a line of that. I think that would sell a little bit. They seem super comfortable.
Well, yeah. Wait till you see me in mine. You're gonna want one for the swimsuit season.
Your balls are going to be in pain, I
Yeah,
think.
I'm gonna have to separate them somehow.
And also we have to remark on the passing of one of the greats in all of movies, not just James Bond.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee.
He was in Star Wars. He was in a bunch of Lord of the Rings. He was in 2 Star Warses.
Yep. Count Dooku.
That's right.
And,
a great Bond villain.
of course, Scaramanga.
Third nipple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A superfluous. What do they call it? A superfluous. Whatever the probably
areola?
Latin name is for the.
Yeah.
Yeah, a superfluous areola.
But he was like the first one that was such a big star to pit opposite James Bond.
Right,
I was
was
supposed to be
he?
worried for James Bond.
Yeah.
Where it just was like they were hyping the bad guy.
Yeah,
it
like
was
he was
called the
big
bad
news.
guy, and it was
Yeah.
Christopher Lee,
Right.
and it was like a big deal, and it sort of set a tone a little bit.
It did because he was also like a bizarro James Bond. He was
He was
suave.
evil.
And also, the
Evil
plot of that
suave.
movie is this guy wants to kill James Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
guess.
end. Don't worry about this solar thing, but
Yeah.
this is the main plot.
And in the book, he was kind of a thug, but in the movie, they made him very suave.
Very classy.
Christopher Lee, who's Ian Fleming's step cousin too.
Oh, he's juiced in.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's not. He's cheating. His
Nepotism.
whole career is a
Nepotism.
sham.
Guy did
kind of
nothing.
ruins it for you. Didn't
Oh
it?
no!
Also, a heavy metal singer, Christopher Lee. He released that heavy metal Christmas song called Jingle Hells.
Yeah, that.
No, it was an album, right?
When he died, when that was announced this morning, and that started circulating, I think I didn't know. This.
Oh, you didn't know that?
I also did not.
I
know
was
that
I
till this
was
morning.
aware of that. 93 years old.
So that's like when Leonard Nimoy did his like hippie folk songs. Christopher
Yeah.
Lee thought, "I'll do what Alice Cooper does," or what?
Yeah, he essentially was like, I'm going to do a heavy metal. You know, he's got a great voice. You know,
Does he?
Great
Yeah,
metal
well,
voice. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we would take a listen to that. So yeah, the movie we're doing today, guys, is Never Say Never Again.
Let's just talk about some of the origin of this thing. For instance, the title. Do you guys know where the title comes from?
I
like
do,
it.
but I want you
do
to tell
not.
the audience.
Okay. Apparently, allegedly.
Someone that Sean Connery used to hit. No, go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah. His wife, when he quit Bond, said, "I'll never do that again." And then this comes around and she goes, "Well, you're doing it again, so never say never again." And that's apparently how the title came about. I don't know.
Surprised.
Sounds a little neat to me.
Sure.
Sounds
Yeah.
a little neat.
That
like
sounds
this whole
like a story
movie,
he told the cops.
too cute by half.
Yeah, but like that's the only way it really even makes sense for that to be the title of the movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
it
guess
feels like
so.
that line at the end. They sort of were like, "Well, let's work that in because that's now the title of the movie."
Yeah, because
Yeah, it's not like Am says at any point, like you'll never
Yeah.
you'll never be back in shape again
Yeah.
or
Right.
something.
Nothing.
right.
No one regrets saying never ever.
Yeah. That's the new movie. No one regrets never ever.
He's still alive. He could do one more. And then, so there's some sense that Connery's doing this to spite Cubby Broccoli.
Some sense.
Yeah, quite a sense. And then this movie goes up against Octopussy, and it was the year of the Battle of the Bonds, 83, right?
Yep.
And this movie came out 4 months later, which is why we're doing it first, because we're on the
Yep.
backwards
We're
trajectory. And Octopussy won. Everybody thought Connery would win, but Octopussy was the bigger box office draw.
And I think
They
that.
did put pussy in the title.
That's true.
It's like they cheated. a
Oh,
little.
that is
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they had that
They
title.
really pulled
and
out the
then
big gun.
Everybody's going, never say never again. What? That's not even a figure of speech. I don't understand what that is.
Yeah, this one is. It's interesting because it's such a loathsome movie for me. The Thunderball.
Yeah.
I can't deal with its underwater, 35-minute slow underwater scenes.
Has there ever in any James Bond movie been an underwater sequence that wasn't a snoozer? Like this one is also a snoozer.
I agree.
I think
Yeah.
I think in Skyfall when he's fighting with the guy in the lake.
Oh,
That at least moves.
you mean
quick.
like a scuba-oriented?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Even in
space,
Tomorrow Never Dies, it's so.
Yeah, and For Your Eyes Only, at least there's the suspense of someone's like coming after them, but it's so slow moving.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right.
That's the problem too. Like in Tomorrow Never Dies, when they go to look for the warhead. Remember they go to look for that torpedo underwater.
Oh boy,
they do
I
scuba
really,
diving.
really
He does the
try to
halo
tune
jump,
that
the high
movie out.
altitude, low opening jump
Yeah, that's a rough
that
one
Joe
for
Don
me.
Baker brings him to.
That's the Bond movie I've seen the least. So
It's one of my favorites. I think you're wrong on it.
Tomorrow Never Dies is the one with the diamonds?
No, that's Die Another Day.
Right.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
This is what I started to fall off.
Me too.
With right where Pierce Brosnan, which coincided exactly with puberty with
Yeah.
me. So it was a double sword.
yeah, I'm not a Brosnan
Get
guy.
on board this Brosnan train. It's leaving the station.
I've said
you
it
need
before,
to be on it.
but Tomorrow Never Dies is the only one I've not seen in the theater since I started going to see them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't even. I still go see them. Right away.
If they're ever screening that at a shitty cinema within an hour's drive, I'm dragging you.
Yeah, that's fair. I should see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Never Say Never Again always was sort of one, even as a kid, I stayed away from.
Oh, really?
Because I knew in my mind, that it was not.
That's what I was going to
canon.
ask you guys, because I saw it a bunch on cable when I was young, and I knew it was different, but I don't think I ever conceptualized that this was an unofficial Bond film. I just didn't question it. I kind of went
You just
with it.
assumed James Bond is in this. This is the James Bond movie.
Yeah, I think I saw this one in the theater too, because it was the same year as Octopussy, so I knew that something weird was going on, but I just didn't question. I'm just like, what? Yeah, more of a good thing? Who am I to question? Come on.
I'm with you. I saw it fairly early on. I didn't see them in order. I think my dad sort of slowly presented them to me,
Yeah.
and I didn't realize it was different until I had that like essential James Bond encyclopedia thing, which had everything you
by my
need to
bed.
know.
Possibly
With
under
the
my
gray
pillow.
cover.
Yeah.
yeah.
Possibly it is my pillow.
Just
soft
fluff
cover.
a big book. So that's when I think I figured out. Then you start watching it with the different eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
The music is the biggest key. It's
Sure.
not even
the
that,
opening is also just generally
Yeah.
altered for no reason. Like it doesn't have the same. Doesn't have the eye thing.
No.
It doesn't have a sequence.
No, there's
no gun
cold,
barrel.
No cold open. I mean, there's
Theoretically, the cold open would be him doing, breaking into that to get the kidnapped billionaire daughter.
which is kind of a fun little scene.
Yeah.
But they gets stabbed at
Yeah,
the end, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't really be like, and then just go to a title sequence.
Well, I mean, James
Yeah,
Bond
he
gets
died.
shot
There's
in
no title
Skyfall,
sequence.
and then there's a title sequence.
Right. Well, so the song, it opens with this, the worst song of any Bond movie, because even the production feels like it's being played off a warbly cassette tape, like it's warped or something. Maybe not Die Another Day.
I still think the
Madonna
chorus
song.
is catchy, and that's gets points. That's,
It is way more catchy than some of the other ones.
That's true. So there was originally another song that was up until the very near production or opening. This was the song, but then I guess the guy who did the score had the rights to do the song, and so he booted this song and did his own. There it is. Are you guys getting that in stereo or is it
No,
just
it's
me?
in mono,
Oh,
but
that's okay.
Katie will mix it in post.
Fine.
You don't just drop these in mono?
There's no
Yeah.
way to know.
The people won't hear this as one ear.
No.
Never say
I mean, this has more gravitas already.
Whoa!
Are you in or what?
Yeah, this is much more of a thing.
Because you can picture some Morris Bender titles, like girls doing gymnastics and chores.
Oh, I like that synthy.
in the candle glow.
She's soulful, though.
Yeah.
My heart was crying. Don't let go. There was danger in your eyes.
We're the only podcast in history to just quiet down for this song.
Well, I've never heard it. I'm interested for the lyrics.
I'll never say never again.
Phyllis Hyman.
I don't.
Oh
By the
no.
way,
Is that her name?
It's a Bond
girl.
name.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Phyllis Hyman. Phyllis Hyman.
Yep.
Oh, my Jesus.
Holy smokes. Yeah, her her manager needed to have a conversation. Just have a sit down. Be like, look, you sing great.
They did, and they were like, the only thing you're going to get around here is a Bond movie.
Yeah, because wasn't even Hitler's last name Schicklgruber at some point, and he had the foresight to switch, I think?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. We like to get our Hitler facts in on this podcast.
I will say that the song that they do use, if it had the cold open, it wouldn't have been so bad. It's just that it's underplaying this thing where he's punching people in the face, so it just feels comedic.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, with very, I would say, terrible sound effects. Mixing.
Oh, yeah.
The mixing is like out of control.
That's true.
Now, wild.
John Barry was originally approached to do the music, and he declined out of respect for Broccoli. But there is a version online that you can look up, and one of our listeners, Brendan McVeigh, sent that to us, and so you can watch this movie with John Barry music. It's strange. It's a little weird.
I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah, me
and
too.
it's better.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, the music, the soundtrack also gets like a weird, I guess they're taking that tango theme all the way through.
Yeah.
And jazzy. It's not right.
It has no gravitas at all.
No, it's not right at all.
well, I mean, it's like I feel like there's some James Bond movies of the Eon ilk that also will carry through a not particularly strong melody into the scoring. You know, like or a great one like The Man with the Golden Gun will have some great scoring of the sort of whatever that theme music is. They're going to carry that through the yeah. But
I love when they do that. I love it.
all they had to work with on this was
That's true.
never
Yeah.
say never.
Well, that's his own fault. He's the guy that wrote the song and the score. All right. So we're into it now.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we are. Starts with some 007s because he can use that legally.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like that was also their way to kind of do like a graphic thing that you would somehow see in the opening titles of a regular Bond film, but just briefly suggest that instead of the gun barrel sequence.
Yeah, and also, you know, the O being a circle, much like the gun barrel. They were talking about, I had read while looking up this movie, that they had tried to do a gun barrel sequence and then scrapped it at the last second.
And I think the music was released on the soundtrack that you could buy, so you would hear the music that they intended for that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't just know these things.
Oh, boy.
Naturally. I did a little reading.
No,
before.
I
I'm a
like
little
to think that
embarrassed.
you know these naturally.
I don't. Yeah.
So when was the last time you guys watched this movie?
When I was a kid, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw it because it wasn't part of that set they gave you.
Right.
And so I went and bought it separately, but I think it was already... I've only seen it a handful of times. But
Yeah.
I mean, I remembered it, but not... It was better than I remembered.
Yeah.
It was much better than I remembered. The last time I saw this, I don't even know. I always saw parts of it on cable. And that also confused me as a kid, I guess, too. When you did see parts of it on cable, your brain was like, which one does he drive a motorcycle under a truck in? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I saw this probably within the last 2 years. I own the Blu-ray. And part of the fun of owning the Blu-ray is the director's commentary with Irvin Kershner.
No, what?
Which is amazing, and I highly recommend it. Because if you're familiar with Kershner, who directed Empire Strikes Back, he's got this voice, and he takes it very seriously. So scenes where, like, he's fighting the strongman, and he's like, here, you show it. You don't tell it. It's how drama works. You just show it. You don't tell. Don't do it. He's really serious about it. And it's glorious. It's glorious. So I
Wow.
highly recommend. It's worth buying this DVD because the Blu-ray looks great, too.
Yeah.
The high-def transfer. It's actually a really well shot movie, I think.
I agree. It's not like they
beautiful,
didn't get
real.
slackers to
Yeah.
make this movie. They got people at the top of their game.
Yeah. Go get yourself a nice Samsung
I mean, was
50
this-
to 60 inch television.
Did this follow up? Was this his follow up to Empire?
Oh,
It must have
might
been.
have been, yeah.
Yeah, must have been what he did right after The Empire Strikes Back.
Could have been. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a lot of Star Wars, like Bond, Superman, Star Wars crossover people in all these films.
Yeah.
Because the guy he fights in the clinic is the big Nazi that Indy fights at the plane in Raiders of the Lost Ark. And the head thuggy guy from Temple of Doom that he fights on the conveyor belt.
He's great.
Yeah.
That guy's great.
Yeah.
He's so nonchalant.
I know
what it is?
So
He
great.
really is.
Do you know what it is? It's there's 25 actors in England.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they get cycled into everything
Yeah.
that
Sure.
they shoot over
Yeah.
there.
And
if
there's
you're 7 foot,
Yeah.
you're going to get the guy with.
By the way, it was only until last night that I realized that I wasn't watching William Atherton.
Oh yeah,
He really has a Atherton-ish.
he does, the brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I was like, they look the same. And then I went like, they must be exactly the same age. And they are a year difference.
Jeez. He looks a lot like Kim Basinger too. That is some super casting.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So this movie starts with, James Bond storming, sieging, doing James Bond type things in a stealth then not stealth mode.
Right. Murdering. It goes from
The man
stealth
who,
to murder real quick.
the
With
man who has
Horse trauma.
almost infinite access to silencers for his Walther
Yeah.
and decides to just go in blazing. And
His murder is almost out of laziness.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal.
yeah, he doesn't want to walk over there, so he'll shoot you with a machine gun that is somehow louder than regular machine guns. So he takes, he has to rescue this girl. We don't know what's happening. We're the audience.
No.
We're learning
We're
as
going
it's
in
going.
cold, in
dummies.
medias
You know what
res.
they do? They're showing us, not telling us.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's-
just show it. No, I mean, it's drama.
So
What do you want, Remo Williams? No, show it.
we get to, James Bond rescues the girl, but then all of a sudden, boom, knife in the side. We, the audience, are like, no, James. And then we find that it's being watched on a screen.
I don't feel like it dwells on that nearly enough. He makes a oh jeez face, and then immediately it cuts to people being like, like,
I think that would be James Bond. If James Bond ever meets his untimely end,
Yeah.
I think his
He would just roll
reaction
his
would.
eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He'd be
absolutely.
like, finally.
He'd be like, thank
God.
sweet release.
and
I'm
abroad,
coming.
no less.
I'm coming, Dame Judy.
It's the amount of diseases I've given to women. It's only fitting that I be stabbed by one.
So wait, now so this turns out to be a simulation of
Yeah.
some kind. Now, what in your brain? How does this simulation work exactly? Did he not punch murder a bunch of people?
No, in my brain, everyone has blanks.
Yeah.
and I think that they
Well, why are they jumping
allow
off- they're-
punching.
they're
I think
getting-
they allow punching in this war game.
why are they? Yeah, like why are
They're
they?
still falling off of buildings
Right.
for no reason.
Yeah,
just like
is everything padded
I
on
have
the ground?
To show. My time to show.
The bigger question is that this whole thing
I
is
gotta get out of here. You see?
to show that Connery still got it and he's still subverting the system, right? That he's coming out of retirement. Is that
The
kind of
first thing I noticed in watching this movie was Sean Connery in better shape than Roger Moore at that time.
Oh yes.
Well, he's also 3 years younger.
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah, and does he? Am I wrong? But this is 12 years after Die Another Day or Diamonds Are Forever, and he looks better than he did in Diamonds Are Forever. And that part of
They
that
did
is
shoot
probably
in Vegas.
The only thing that doesn't look better
Yeah,
is his
steak
toupee.
buffets.
His toupee in this movie
Yeah,
does
it's a little
kind
rough.
of ruin it for
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's
I
so
love that they
tan.
were like, all right, I'll do it. And they were like, Thunderball, a lot of water stuff. And he's like, ooh,
guys, I'm gonna need
the weak guy.
How is glue technology advanced?
Get me Shatner's guy.
So they kind of deal with his age right out of the bat, which
Yeah.
is good right off the bat.
Which they don't do really very often in James Bond
Except for
movies
Skyfall.
until Skyfall.
Which I even think they went a little far with that because
Too
he's
far.
still got at least another 2.
We've
Don't
talked
make him
about the
so- yeah.
timeline
Yeah.
many times, but it doesn't make any sense that he'd be so worn out
That's true.
by that time.
No.
Anyway, this is
Especially,
not-
like, he still has the fire of a young man.
Oh yeah,
Whereas
Yeah.
Connery's like a little bit like, ooh,
yeah.
I gotta deal with all these fucking idiots again.
I gotta take a knife in the side. Oh.
I will say when he finally does put on tuxedo, it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, you're James Bond.
One thing I love about this movie, M, played by Edward Fox.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy so much. Have you guys ever seen Force 10 from Navarone, a World War II movie with Harrison Ford
Of
and
course
Edward
not.
Fox?
Of course not.
So good. Directed by Guy Hamilton, Goldfinger
Whoa.
director. Another huge English movie that's full of...
And Live and Die.
Huh?
He did all the good ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So an English movie that needs actors, and you're saying there are some people in this English movie that
Yeah.
happen to also be in a James Bond
That's right.
movie?
And the only people that aren't
Oh,
are
that's
the
interesting.
American actors who are Harrison Ford and Carl Weathers.
Oh.
But Robert Shaw's in it. It's the
Robert Shaw.
sequel to Guns of Navarone, and it's the lesser of the two movies, but for my money, a lot more fun. Richard
Okay.
Keel's in it.
M in this
Wow.
movie, though, like it's a great performance, but he's written like a real like punk bitch.
Yeah, he's a petty son of a bitch.
Yeah.
He's written like a
Bureaucratic.
whiny bureaucrat.
Yeah.
Which is like that's the sort
God,
of
his
you know
voice.
again all we know about Spectre, everybody, is what we've seen officially released by 007.com. But that's my part of my worry with Spectre coming up. It feels like they're doing the whole thing of like we have no need for the 00 section.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, where we want him to just get back to missions.
Yeah. We wanted to go. Oh fuck, we do need spies all the time.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and use that language.
Oh fuck, we do need spies all the
The
time.
new MI6.
Cut, Logan.
Gavel bang.
So James is told, "Hey, you're old. You eat terribly. You smoke. You drink.
He'll cut out the white bread, but not the dry martini.
Right. We need to get you over to this fun, relaxing clinic where they're gonna. What is the?
Oh,
word
this
they
is the
use?
great line when he's out on his way out and
That
he tells
is a
Moneypenny,
solid line.
I am to eliminate all free radicals. So good.
Sounds dangerous.
I didn't know what a free
What'd you-
radical was when I was a kid, but I was
Yeah.
laughing. I just knew I was supposed to laugh.
What did you think of Moneypenny?
They don't really use her at all. Does he?
Twice.
Yeah.
Isn't it twice?
Yeah, there's not much going on there.
I believe she had a shot though. I think in the older ones, you're like, this is a little patronizing that he's flirting with this lady.
Yeah.
That's not nice for this lady.
Yeah.
But this movie, I was like, well, this lady could get it done if she puts her back into it a little
Well,
bit.
she's a little too young, I think, for me.
Yeah?
For the, age difference wise between the characters, I think it's a little too much.
Yeah, that's right. But remember when they...
Because they had Lois Maxwell in there.
But
for
what
all
was
of
the
Roger
movie?
Moore.
Was it maybe it was View to Kill, where they bring in Penelope Smallbone and Moneypenny's training this really
Yes.
young girl, and you just get this feeling like
Yep.
she was gone, and the next one
Uh-huh.
she'll be there, and then
Uh-huh.
Roger Moore will still be there, and it'll be really weird.
So, much like in Thunderball, James has to go recuperate from an injury. Well, I guess he's not really recuperating. He's just being sent there because he drinks a lot. So, you're dealing with a lot of the same sort of parts of Thunderball of him at this clinic where he's getting massages and he's trying to be healthy.
At least it doesn't have that awkward scene where he's on that stretcher. Remember that motorized stretcher in Thunderball, and he's
Right.
stuck on it. And it's
Yeah,
just
well,
like-
this replaced that with the Adams press.
yeah.
I mean, it's just like, what exercise equipment can we now hurt him
But
with?
at least that one wasn't just humiliating physically.
There's a lot of humiliating
by the
going on,
way,
yeah.
the way those machines work, if you release those weights,
Yeah.
the bar is now light.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bar is now lighter than ever.
Physics of how the bad guy trapped him in there.
Yeah,
Doesn't
really,
make any
really
sense.
didn't work out. So let's okay.
But he's emasculated a lot during that early go.
Yeah,
like
he really
every
is.
nurse like snapping his back
Yep.
and like he's
Yep.
really puttering around. Like that's what I meant when Roger Moore I think would tear all that stuff. Like when you watch Sean Connery get emasculated, it's a little bit.
It is a
sadder.
weird, yeah.
He's like a big brutish dog.
yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's good that it's sadder
Sure.
for this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
James Bond is getting punked for like
Yeah.
a good half hour
Yeah.
straight off the top.
Yeah. Also, when do we find out about the captain? Does that happen before we get to the clinic?
The brother of Kim
Yeah.
Basinger? It happens at the clinic, doesn't? Or do you find out in
We find out in the
Spectre meet?
Spectre meeting.
Which I want to
Yes.
talk about, because here's where I started noticing the direction.
Mm-hmm.
Almost all of that Spectre meeting is shot from this crazy low angle. Did you guys notice
Yeah,
that?
he's getting Van Sydow like creeps up
Yeah.
on him from this like dun dun dun.
Yeah,
kind of-
and watch that. So they dolly in at a low angle, and Blofeld's holding the cat, but the cat is doing this thing that I never noticed before, where it's just like fanning its paw out rhythmically as Sidow pets him, and he's just doing this thing like Catwoman would do that thing, and it's unbelievable.
I think it was a
This
heavily
cat
trained
knows.
cat, or is it just a comfortable cat?
It was doing it so on cue that I thought maybe like it's watching a trainer and the trainer taught it to do that thing. Or it's just its stimulation from petting or something. I don't know. It's great.
So we see Spectre, the organization.
a bit of a missed opportunity with the extras in that meeting.
Yeah, they were
They're
pretty
really
tame,
average
right?
a
looking
lot of
dudes.
a lot
It's
of
weird where this film decides
regulars.
to like rein it in and where it doesn't is really
Right.
inconsistent.
Yeah.
But the one thing I liked about when they show that room of those people, they're not configured in any formation. They're like randomly
Yeah.
in these chairs with little tables. I kind of liked it in a way. The production design was kind of interesting in this film.
And it is funny seeing like Blofeld. You just sort of realize that that's sort of what we've been missing from James Bond movies.
A good
is
Blofeld?
a good big bad situation. A good I like that there's. If the KGB isn't around anymore, then I like that there's this other organization.
Yes.
That he has to come up against. I like that it's MI6 versus this other organization,
Well, get
be
ready.
it Quantum or Spectre.
Get ready for
Well, I think
November.
that's the whole idea, that he's this all-powerful guy, but he has like a cat. Like
Yeah.
that's the juxtaposition, and it's never quite worked because they get like Donald, like guys
Yeah.
who look like they have cats.
yeah. Cat ladies.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Cat
they put
lovers.
him in a bow tie. Even I was like, I don't think I'm into that.
Right.
You got Max in there.
Yeah.
He's towering over everybody. And
The,
they kind of made him dressed him like a
know.
homebody.
His voice. He
There is-
really uses his voice in this one.
Well, he's trying to do a different accent than the one he has.
He sounds Eastern European in this.
It's a big get too for this movie. Like
Yeah.
when he's not the big bad. Was there an idea to do just like keep doing Thunderballs over and over, like to make this a
Apparently.
series?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
They were going to do that. They were going to just keep going with.
That's amazing.
Here, let's hear.
I would have liked it if this movie ended with them just pulling a cartridge out and it said like Thunderball War Game Mission, and James Bond just passed at the end. It was all a dream.
And he's back in the field. That would be
Yeah.
amazing. It was all his next mission, like training mission.
Yeah, they just
this
inserted
is Watch the
Thunderball.
Cat. This
Our esteemed
Look.
number one is in complete charge of.
Oh, is he doing that, though?
Which will
Is it a
henceforth
puppet?
be
No,
Is
that's
he
a
doing it
cat.
with his finger?
Tears of Allah.
That's a
Because it's
cat.
like tucked in.
I don't know.
He will
Go
now
back.
join us.
I gotta see that. Oh man, we haven't even talked about Klaus Marie Brandauer. He's my favorite thing in this movie.
Oh, my
rebels
God.
and government
Bonkers.
forces on an equal basis. In matters of death, Spectre is strictly impartial. Now for the future.
This is not an evil person.
Spectre's most audacious
Oh,
enterprise
maybe he is.
of any, next to which our previous
But he's doing it
ventures
with both
are
his paws.
inconsequential.
Yeah, no, the cat's totally
Yeah, the
doing
cat
that
is
on
into
its
it.
own.
That's the
The
best.
cat's just hanging out.
The acting talent in this movie
Our
is
esteemed
supreme,
number one
including the cat.
is in complete charge of the entire operation, which will henceforth be called the Tears of Allah.
Why wouldn't
He will
Sit
now
out do
join
this? Because
us.
it probably did it all in a day.
Yeah.
I love him.
Okay, let's talk about Klaus Marie Brandauer.
According
He
Best crazy person in all the Bonds. Best
Yes.
playing a
Yeah.
best hit who's walking maybe.
No, I think best crazy person in all the Bond movies. I think
it's a-
is the villain from Quantum of Solace.
Well, he's really subtle. Let me say what I love about this. He walks up to the line of going, he's going to go too far. There's no way this delivery can work. And he just walks it back right in time. Every time. He's like the biggest overacting cock tease. He never actually does it, but he gets right up there.
It's like
I'm
a
in.
legit good performance.
Yeah.
That it looks like it's any second going to become a cartoonish bad
It's
performance.
amazing.
It never is.
Yeah.
He's great.
And then I slit your throat.
Do you think, like they say finally towards the end when like someone finally says like, you're out of your mind. At some point I'm like, I'm not sure that's in the script that he's crazy. Just like, like that, and they're like, you got to say something at this point.
I mean, we're all aware of
We
it.
gotta, dude. Someone's got to say he's you're crazy. Just throw it in
We
there.
had a powwow. We talked about it.
Yeah. I really wonder what he's like on set. I gather it's not too far off.
Hans, an American Air Force officer,
And his costumes, too.
has
Oh
been
yeah, like Country
introduced
Club
to a
gets
good
that costume.
Incredible.
It's great.
heroin. I understand he's not.
I love it. I love what he looks like.
He's amazing.
I love his giant glasses.
Willing and obedient.
I would
son.
put him in like
A surgical
top 10, if
break-
not top 5 Bond villains. And this isn't
Yeah.
even an official Bond movie.
Implant. His right eye print is now an exact replica of that of the President of the United States. He will soon be moved to a convalescent clinic.
This feels like his audition tape, and they just rolled it in.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't arrange. He couldn't.
I want you to sit here, just say these lines.
Yeah.
Sign this. Thank you.
Manzano couldn't
or-
be in the same room. That Manzano
Like
was like,
they're-
I only work one day, so get him here or do something.
I think they were teleconferencing with Klaus Marie Brandauer, talking about, will you do this movie? And then they asked him, what do you think it's about? And this is just what he said. And then they
Yeah, they're
wrote
like,
the
oh
script
god,
around
someone
it.
film this. Someone film this.
Near London. I have chosen number 12 to have the responsibility of taking the most.
Number 12.
She's crazy
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
she's another. She's amazingly crazy.
her
yeah.
like her dance tick.
Oh, yeah. Whenever she's walking, pointing to the band,
Yeah.
Doing her thing.
Fatima
really
Blush.
flaunting.
That's a good name too, Fatima Blush.
Fatima Blush.
Anytime I watched this with my dad, and anytime she would come on screen, he would go. And I would be like, oh, that's what is attractive. That is an attractive lady, I guess.
My
We've
dad
learned.
would do that with Tanya Roberts and View to a Kill, and he'd go, you know, she was in Playboy every time. Definitely every time we watch the movie, but I want to say every scene. You know, she was in Playboy.
Now, son, I got it if you want to see it.
I know, Dad. I found him in the garage.
So James Bond comes prepared to his clinic of health, where he brings his briefcase full of caviar and entire bottles
You
of vodka.
have one of those, right?
And
Caviar,
quail eggs.
foie gras, and like spring break party vodka.
Yeah, absolute vodka.
Cheap.
Let's see what's in there. Is it Absolute?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big like economy bottle.
Well, that wasn't Smirnoff, which was his old brand.
Yeah. Well,
really
they
sticking it
hadn't-
to Smirnoff.
Yeah. Also, look at this fireplace. There's a fireplace and then a little fireplace inside it.
Also, he was getting dressed up to get hammered alone in his room.
I know. This lady.
Come in.
She's got something.
I can't come in.
Let's just listen to Sean Connery's delivery.
See, there's a little stove in the fireplace.
Don't worry. I have my reputation to think of.
I don't think you got your reputation by living on a diet of wild rice. So, lentil delight, dandelion salad, goat's cheese.
I don't know. This woman does it for me.
Beluga caviar, quail's eggs.
It's probably because I remember her from this movie.
Foie gras. Strasbourg.
Is she gonna vomit? What does that look?
Oh, no,
What
she
is
loves
hasn't
it.
had
She's
foie
in
gras in
heaven.
so
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
It's all been dandelion salad
Yeah.
for ages and ages.
He's bringing her back to her carnal pleasure.
So it just so happens that the clinic that they are taking Kim Basinger's brother to recover from his ocular eye surgery, so his retina will be an exact imprint of the President of the United States.
Yeah, because in Thunderball, he just had plastic surgery to look like
replace that guy.
right? Yeah. Okay.
Because they had live warheads on that ship.
This-
This now
the
they need to get
eye
warheads on.
Yeah.
They put in there, which is the president's eye. Looks like a fish's eye. Like,
Yes.
It's like a
Gross.
gigantic blue.
Yep.
It's like President Gerald Merman. It was like presiding. It's
Merman, merman.
The first ever fishman president. They said it wouldn't happen in our time.
The early 80s were. You know, we're coming off of Carter. We just needed some.
we need something different.
My fellow Americans.
I like that passionate speech in garbled fish language.
So the plan is to get him. I do like. So James Bond does some James Bonding. He does some spying.
Yeah.
And he's watching this guy. He has to go through all the things he would have to go through in order to release these nuclear weapons. So Spectre has set up this little training exercise for him to do this, and James Bond, I believe he goes over there. Why does he end up?
Spying on them?
He sees them fighting, right?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is... There's no reason for her to be beating him up at all, right?
Right.
From what I can tell, she's just a crazy fan,
Yeah.
crazy pants.
She's nuts.
But I do like the performances here when James Bond sees, because this guy
at
goes
that eyeball.
over the top.
He's really Athertoning it up.
He's out Atherton.
Yeah.
Try it again, darling.
A man at the window.
Come on. This guy's a military man.
Yeah.
A man
I know.
at the window.
I know.
But I also
Also,
like.
why is he doing it? Because they're threatening his sister? That's why he's going to blow up the world?
See you.
Yeah, did they ever say it?
Why is he doing this?
Yeah.
Because they got him addicted to heroin,
Oh, that's
Oh, right.
and they keep giving him heroin to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't pay attention to the plot points this time.
Yeah. She did offer to give him candy from her thigh.
Yeah.
In the form
That was
of a
the
needle.
candy.
That's,
I
I
was
get it. I
watching
get
things
it.
like cat's paws and stuff.
But it is interesting. Like, I think something that's cool that they touch on here is that at this point in his career,
Do you know him?
Oh, yes. 007.
he's useless. At this
Yeah.
point in his career, he's useless as a spy because everybody knows him.
That's always
by name.
the later James Bond. Yeah.
But you know, what's interesting is like, you know, they suspend disbelief in the James Bond movies for the most part, where even in, like, say, the earlier movies, Spectre doesn't know, oh, that's James Bond, that's 007. Like, they don't know it. But this woman, she's not even number 5.
I know, she's got a
She's
ways
number
to go.
12.
It's double digits.
She's number 12, and she knows him
She's
by
barely
sight.
a month. Yeah. If they had month nicknames,
Yeah,
she'd barely be in. Yeah.
December tops.
Yeah.
So she
Or
needs
February. Maybe
to.
it's the shortest. I don't know how they rank them.
She needs to get James taken care of, so she sends the guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark again, because that movie filmed at Pinewood Studios, and he was an English guy,
He probably
so they got
lives
him.
there.
I do like that thing, that weapon.
Yeah,
that he
that-
takes him
I
way
do
too long.
like
Why
that
doesn't
weapon.
everyone
The
have that
buckle?
weapon?
Now-
The thing that breaks knives and everything, that like the rubber lead pipe or whatever it is.
I think it's just like a springy metal
Yeah, coil.
situation.
Oh, it's amazing.
I read on IMDb, I'm having a hard time believing this, but apparently Steven Seagal was the fight choreographer, the martial arts choreographer in this, and broke Connery's wrist. But I have heard numerous stories about...
I bet Seagal goes into IMDb
I
trivia.
bet you're right.
And enters a whole bunch of crazy shit.
I've heard crazy talk about working with that guy in terms of fighting, like he really hits people and stuff like that.
There's an urban legend about him fighting a guy, and then he challenged a guy to a fight, and the guy was a champion, and they fought. And in 1 second, Steven Seagal was choked out and then pissed himself.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
so
I've
funny
heard
because
that
I just
story.
heard it where he shit his pants too. So that's amazing how that already happens.
I want to look up the fight coordinator here.
Oh yeah, that ought to do it.
Anyway, keep talking. Get us to has the fight with the giant henchman, and then he discovers his one clue to who these people were.
I do
is-
like that fight with the henchman.
I think it's
I
a
do
good
too.
fight too.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fight
Just
too. I
tear up
like
a
the
bunch of
element
scenery.
of the fight happening that they're watching on television.
Right.
Yeah.
That is coinciding with them fighting
Yeah.
behind everybody.
That's a very Spielberg moment.
His nonchalance is great. I don't mind the piss in the face.
What is in Bond's urine that does that
yeah,
to him? I
That's
mean, there's a
so
pure vodka?
disproportionate.
Pure absolute vodka.
Oh God, just the
And-
foie
and
gras,
duck liver. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God.
even the idea that I don't. Does it kind of? Do you hear it like hiss?
He's certainly playing an acidic.
Yeah.
Not a Hasidic. He's
No,
playing
no, no.
an acid.
I beg your pardon.
There's some effects in this that aren't bad too, because then they cut away pretty soon to that jet flying through the air. So some of the cruise missile stuff looks a little like optical, but the jet flying through the air looks really good. Did you guys notice that when it flies through the clouds and it gets a shadow on it?
Yeah, the jet looks good. The stuff that looks good is there to make up for the horse jumping off the giant building.
Yeah, we're all
that's-
building to a thing.
That's pretty
here.
rough.
We'll get
Where they
there.
murder a horse.
We'll get
Yeah,
there.
basically do. And another animal. Wasn't there another animal that was...
Well, she has this idea where she's like, this happens now, where she's going to kill the brother, and her plan is to throw a snake
Yeah,
in his car.
That's right. Yeah.
Have the car go off the road, then
Well,
blow
she
up the
could
car, then take her
also-
snake out of
now,
the
what I don't know if you guys realize this, but there aren't many snakes in England, so this one was the snake from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah. They had
That's
to recap.
Reggie.
Yeah.
Which I have a horrible past
They
with.
called him up. He came out of retirement.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know,
Makes
I
sense.
lost $4,000 on a game show because I got that name right, and they thought it was Richie.
Wait,
and
what
didn't
did-
give me
what?
the money.
Wait, what?
What are you
That
talking
snake in Raiders of the Lost Ark that's in his lap in the plane in the beginning, and he goes,
Yeah.
"That's just my pet snake, Reggie." And they asked me on this game show, "Det, what's the name?" And I said, "Reggie." And he goes, "Sorry, it's Richie." And I didn't get the money.
But you were right.
That's what I'm told. But like I've told this on podcasts before, and people have shown me the script and everything. But Wink's dead, right? Wink
Martindale? I don't think he's around anymore.
Yeah, I don't know that he'd pay me personally.
What
anyway.
year was this?
Wow.
This would have been like mid '90s, probably '95 or '96.
Oh, man, you had a hell of a 95.
I really did. To '95, guys. 1990
Heady
high
days.
five. Yeah.
I'm just watching the credits, guys.
Okay.
Sorry. Keep going.
But that's I mean, she's doing a great job being. I buy everything she does, and
Whoa.
and she doesn't do anything that doesn't make any sense.
Vic
Yeah.
Armstrong did the stunts.
Oh, that makes sense. So yeah, he doubled for Indy,
Yeah.
and he did a lot of other Bond stuff.
Yes.
He did a lot of the original
Yeah.
Eon stuff. That's crazy.
They poached him.
They did. So stunts, is he even in there? No.
No, Steven Seagal.
That's basically it. He's got to be lying. I'm glad we fact-checked that. So he goes to Jamaica after this, hot on the trail, right?
You'd think you're going to see Quarrel.
Or
but
Bahamas.
You don't.
I know.
He's going to the
that's right.
Bahamas. Well, we're also missing the part where they... Okay, now...
We have the nuclear. He holds.
I
Blofeld has
wasn't-
the press conference through
I
the
was
skull
going
head.
right.
kind of
That's
limit
right.
what we're going to play as far as audio is concerned for everybody on this, but I do have to play fucking Blofeld's fun little video message to
Please.
the sort of United Nations.
Uh-huh.
Outrageous. Also, there's some bad extras in this scene
Yeah.
too.
Through the ingenuity of Spectre, the dummy warheads they carried were replaced.
That guy's from View to a Kill.
Yep. Yeah, this guy's. Yeah.
Your weapons of destruction are now safely in our
He
possession
focuses on his
and
cat.
will be moved
This is
to
the
two
future of my
secret
life.
targets. Please note the serial numbers of the missiles.
Even
They will
though the
confirm
glare.
the truth. Your weapons of deterrence did not deter us from our objective. A terrible catastrophe now confronts you. However,
sounds like Dracula.
it can be avoided
Yeah, I feel
by
like he's getting an
paying a
accent on his
tribute
accent.
to
Has to
our
be.
organization, amounting to 25% of your respective
Like a
countries'
German trying to
annual
do a
oil
Russian.
budgets.
Yeah.
It sounds just like Christopher Lee.
We have
essentially.
accomplished two of the functions
like
that
Gary
the name
Oldman in
Spectre
Dracula.
embodies: terror and extortion. If our demands are not
Terror
met
and
within
extortion.
7 days,
I
So much. Not this guy's the worst. This extra right here.
No, I disagree.
Everything he
I
hears.
disagree. She also doesn't belong there.
That's gold in
Sure.
my ear.
But it's just like this guy just is hearing like we have nuclear, and he's just like I told you guys, I told you.
he keeps looking at his buddy like,
Yeah.
is this bad? Should
I want to hear. I want to hear when Blofeld explains the name to everybody.
Demonize.
That's
There
awesome.
it is. There it is.
I am
need me one of
Supreme
those.
Commander of Spectre, the Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion.
Wait, let's take a second to
Wait.
talk about this little studio he has set up here. There's
Yeah.
a camera in an iron skull.
Yep.
And it's on a podium
Yep.
that's just facing this little flower table
Yep.
that he's just kind of propped up against.
Uh-huh.
I guess they don't do that regularly.
And a red light.
but why do they have
built
that
into the
light?
base.
Yeah, that camera.
Well, so he knows that it's on.
But why do they have that camera?
I think that camera might be his what I use to video conference with my bros across the nation.
So like Largo had one of those when he
Yeah.
was doing his okay, that makes sense.
Maybe they issue them with the rings. It's like your Spectre starter kit.
God, that would be
Here's your
amazing.
skull camera. Here's your ring.
How do I get one?
Now I know our name is very stupid. Special.
It is rough.
I am the special executive for counterterrorism, extortion, revenge. Counterterrorism doesn't make any sense. That seems like a good thing. Well, let's hear
I
it
am
again.
Supreme Commander of Spectre, the Special Executive for Counterintelligence, Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion.
As big a Bond fan as I am, I never remember what that stands
Me
for.
either.
I cannot.
Me either, because it's the stupidest
It's
thing
pretty bad.
in any of the James Bond movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so William Atherton gets killed by a snake, who happens to be Kim Basinger's brother. And we know it's not William Atherton, everybody. We know that. We're just saying it because he looks like him.
Matt's saying that because we will hear
I
it.
understand. I understand.
Yeah. We're just calling him William Atherton. But so now that this plan is out there, England's got to do something, right? So just like that, the 00 branch is reactivated by, is that the Prime Minister, you think, that just turns to him and
Hard
says,
to
make
say.
it happen?
Hard to say.
But I do want to hear that Algernon's take on Q,
Really quickly, that yacht,
Yes.
Largo's yacht.
the flying saucer.
Yes, which is Disco Volante in English
Mm-hmm.
from Thunderball. But that was owned by a Saudi arms dealer at the time.
Oh,
And then guess who? He doesn't own it now, but for a long time, Trump owned it as well after the fact. Yeah.
Wow.
they like went. They co-shared. They're like, so you get it for 6 months. They're just like a
Timeshare
partnership.
yacht,
Yeah,
yeah.
timeshare. Him and the Saudi.
This Q's pretty good.
You think so?
I like him, yeah. You
I
don't
like this
it?
whole world where he's They're like an underfunded Sanford, and like I'd watch a whole sitcom
Of this place.
of like an underfunded
Oh,
intelligence
Q Branch.
agency making
He's too much
gadgets.
to me.
What you gonna do when you're in a fix? Q's and the back got your back and you're giving licks. Don't make me go on.
But he feels like this feels very much like a guy that will need Doctor Who's help. You know?
Not quite perfected yet.
You could write a very binding contract with this.
Yeah, I wish I had a new contract.
It's different because they're not at odds in this.
Yeah.
Usually you're used to
Can't
them
get the
being
spare
at odds.
parts.
I kind of like the
And when you can, there's
change
usually
there.
some strike that stops delivery.
Is this just because they
And
couldn't
look at
like
this
get a
place.
set that looked
Like
like the
keeping
other ones?
bloody
They were like, we have to
printing
explain why
down.
you're in like a
Plays
basement.
havoc
Yeah,
with my
good question.
sinuses.
We're both humble servants of the crown.
It's like Q
Where's
wants
the
to be him too, because he's like lots of meaningless sex and violence, and he's living vicariously through Bond. Which
He gets
is
real
totally
excited
different.
about it. Where are you going next?
Yeah.
They made me an offer I'd be off like a shot. Unlimited resources, air conditioning, 28 flavours of ice cream in the restaurant. It's a motorbike toy. If I can get the thing to work properly, I'll ship it out to you. Wait a minute. I've got something in here that could be useful. The prototype came from a KGB defector. Bit of a whiz kid in their technical section. Not a bad chap. They're like all defectors, prone to melancholy. I suppose it's all that
Prone to
vodka and English
melancholy.
weather. Ah. Rather tasty, this is. It looks like a watch, but it's really a laser. Keeps perfect time.
But for how long?
At least your lifetime. Good to see you, Mr. Bond. Things have been awfully dull round here. Bureaucrats running the old place, everything done by the book. Can't make a decision unless the computer gives you the go-ahead.
He's
Now you're on
opposite
this.
Q.
I
Yeah.
hope we're going to have some
I like
gratuitous
that.
sex and violence.
I certainly hope so too.
And then the funny chapstick joke.
Yes.
All right, so James has to go to the Bahamas because he's looking for the ship that belongs to. Forgot Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah, it's his first movie, Rowan Atkinson.
Making some choices. Making some serious mouth-oriented choices.
Yeah, you can't accuse anyone in this film of not making choices.
No one's going down the middle here.
No.
Everyone's going
Except
little
for maybe
inside or
Connery.
way outside.
You could maybe argue that Klaus, that was just his natural essence.
His natural
It wasn't
demeanor.
necessarily a choice to do anything.
There's a good chance of that.
He plays a British agent by the name of
Is it Nigel? something?
Nigel. Is it Bush?
I can't remember.
Fuckwad?
That's
Yep. Nigel Bush fuckwad.
Definitely.
And that's why you shouted my name across the harbor.
Oh, God, did I?
Well, you mean you got this? That's sort of Dr. No-like.
Yeah.
Steel drums.
I like this fishing lady. She's from Spy Who Loved Me. She's the receptionist in Spy Who Loved Me. They pulled a lot. There really are
Again,
24
there's
actors
24 to 27 actors
at any given time.
at any given time
You have to
available in
wait
England to be
for
in
someone
movies.
to die like a country club.
Do you know how happy someone is right now that Christopher Lee has passed on?
Oh,
That's right.
Someone now gets a spot.
That's right.
Some old fuddy-duddy.
You're right.
Finally, hey, I get the coal. All right, so he's got to go to the. I mean, if you've seen Thunderball, you understand what's happening here.
You've probably
He's gotta
seen
track
this movie
down.
a bunch
He's got
of
to
times,
track this
too.
down, guys. So he's got to find the Disco Volante, aka the Flying Saucer.
Yeah.
So of course he meets a buxom lady who has a fishing boat.
She's basically Quarrel.
She is Quarrel. There's no quarrels about it.
Nope.
Quarrel's not even in Thunderball, though.
No.
It's just Live and Let Die.
But it's the
and
fact that we're in a tropical
Quarrel
setting.
Jr. Yeah.
And we just want there to be a Quarrel Jr.
Sex Quarrel.
Sex Quarrel. You don't think they fucked in Dr. No? I think they did.
Well, sure.
All right. So he goes diving.
Underwater,
Now,
boring underwater scene.
very boring underwater scene. Weird. I would like to hear the commentary on the sex scene.
All right. I'll give it to you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What is it? Oh,
Let's hear it.
You're going to do it for me?
Matt's commentary on the sex
Yeah.
scene.
All right, here we go. Ready?
My dad's was a lot of moaning and groaning.
Now here she We offered her a body double, but she wouldn't do it because she understands the craft of acting and drama. Also, she had a full bulrush delta of just a thatch down there that she... I mean, you could land a plane on it. It was a meadow, and when he disrobed there, same thing. No little nude underlings or little beige-shaped onesies. Everybody here was going out in the wind. Like the way it was. We shot this full screen, we had to crop it.
Because you were trying to show it.
I wanted to see it on the monitor to know it was real. And then, of course, they consummated and had a child, because it's all real.
Wow. Thank you, Irving.
You're welcome. I died recently, too.
Oh, did he?
Well, a couple years ago.
Oh.
Poor guy.
All right. So the way that she decides to dispatch with James Bond.
Which time? Like, her methods are incredible.
Boy.
Yeah.
That's why she's stuck at number 12, guys.
Yeah.
Gotta get your head in the game, Fatima Blush.
Never heard of a gun?
Holy smoke,
First thing she tries to do here is attach some sort of homing device onto James Bond's hip.
That's why the girl in the beginning is able to stab him, because he's so used to women going these circuitous routes to kill him.
Yeah.
You never would expect it.
So she puts a homing device, but in order for this to work, she's gonna first have to find some sharks.
Bionically engineered some sharks.
Oh, boy.
That she can put a similar device on that will attract them to it. By the way, did you find it interesting that in this movie, the making of this movie, they straight up kill that shark?
That's what I thought, too. That shark does not look pleased about what's happening to
When
him.
they do a close-up on the device that's on a shark, there is
That's
some
on a
kind
dead
of thing.
shark.
Is it?
That's on a dead shark.
Oh, because
well, you can tell by the wrinkles
into
on
it.
Well,
Like
that's the. Okay, guys, I only know this from watching Jaws so many times in my life. What happens to sharks when they die? They dry out a bit.
Even underwater?
Even underwater. So, I mean, this shark was caught, brought to the surface, and then put down underwater. So what happens is their skin can get a little wrinkly, like that shark is. So when you see that homing device on the dead shark, that shark had been dead for a while, and they were just filming it like that.
Well, shark facts.
Welcome to Shark Facts. I'm Click, and you're Clank. Welcome.
What you need is you got a row of teeth back there that you got to replace every 6 months.
What kind of shark is it? It's a tiger shark. What? That's from Jaws. I forgot that she actually catches him.
Yeah,
that's very Bond-like, I think.
I don't hate it.
That's heavy
coincidence.
They set it up long enough ahead that it seemed clever.
Yeah.
Nice callback.
So Bond survives this attempt at his life. Now he's got to survive another attempt at his life. Let's think of a crazier way for him to die. Okay, so she takes some C4 explosives, ones that she used to kill the guy that she first tried to kill with the snake.
Right.
Well, she got rid of him with the explosives, killed him with the snake. And she puts them underneath James Bond's bed.
This is her most direct way.
Yeah.
Unless you count holding him hostage with a gun later on. But even that is she's just making it up as she goes along.
Yeah. So this is...
That's one of the greatest scenes ever, by the way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It is a crazy scene. So... I don't even know... Yeah, let's hear.
Sounds a wonderful idea.
Oh, jolly good, Bob. Because I was wanting to discuss with you.
She does flinch a little bit, which I think is interesting.
Yeah.
Mr. Bond?
Now, she was in the lobby. She heard what room he was in. Then she goes up and plants the bomb. But she knows, because he's also up to his room in theoretic.
Yeah.
So she knows that he's not in his room.
No, she doesn't know that. She
But she
assumes
beat
he's
him up
going
to his room, even though he was on his way room, and he just...
I guess, has she already done it?
She went in there and did it.
Okay.
And then came down, and then he comes back with what's her name, and I think she doesn't know that this woman is also staying at the hotel.
I see.
And just assumes they're going up to the... By the way, it is interesting that James doesn't want to immediately go back to his room to at least get a suit, because he's wearing overalls.
I do like James Bond in overalls. That should have been more of a thing.
I know. Clown suit, overalls, what are his most embarrassing costumes.
Well, her overalls just randomly appeared. Like, we didn't see her in overalls either. It was great.
Yeah. That deal when he goes into the casino with the cigarette case that has a lateral gyroscope movement bomb. Love it. Oh, we're getting close, guys. We're getting close to the domination game.
So, well, wait a minute. I want to talk about, he goes into his, like, pod. Klaus goes into his pod on his boat.
Yes.
And there's a scene that made me laugh so hard where he goes in, it's like a computer pod full of computer equipment, and he's going over these printouts and data sheets, and then he goes, okay. And then he presses a button and a window opens. It's just Kim Basinger doing Jazzercise. Like our introduction to, and he appears to be like the most business-like peeper that ever. He's like, all right, got data, checks out. Today our heart rate is up. Sweat. Peeping is a go. Let's get it on.
Was that built for her because she's a dancer, or is he just assuming he's going to have people that he needs to watch that are dancing?
Oh, that's a good question. I assume he built that for her. Like, he built her a dance studio on the boat.
Quite a modification, like just a camera hidden.
Yeah,
in
but
you're
so rich.
Peeping, then you're like, oh, I'm going to build you that because then I can peep through the mirror.
Premeditated. Heavy premeditated perv.
Also, if that's your girlfriend, why are you peeping?
That's the other thing. I mean,
you could just take her out to a nice dinner.
He's nuts.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he really likes watching dance.
Maybe that's his... Maybe he's just a student of the arts.
Yeah. So the scene also where he gives her a massage, where like we skipped over.
Yeah.
Which is one of the creepiest.
Yep.
It's amazing. Well, also because he's doing.
No, I like it because his James Bond innuendos aren't working on her because she's like, what?
It feels weirdly unsmooth. He's also like making like as he's creeping his dick towards her face, oh, she's not noticing. It's getting close. As he's pawing her back.
On target.
It's
there.
He's worried about popping a bone.
Yeah, it's secretly hilarious and uncomfortable.
And her 5-minute take and realization when she finds out he wasn't her masseuse.
I think she does an amazing that direction, which you'll give us in a second. I'm sure.
I sure will.
Of what she must have been told, because she has to go from. She goes from legit. It's like, okay, Kim, you were assaulted sexually, you were violated, own that, and then let it blossom into a sweetheart's crush within the span of about 2 seconds of screen time. Ready, go. And she nails it.
From the worst experience of your life to something that is going to give you such joy. I want you to think it all through, take a nap. During your reaction, go to sleep, take a nap, and when you wake up, show us how you feel. Go, action.
He must have loved you so much to have done what he did, to paw at your back.
Yes, it's offensive, but go.
It's real, it's reality.
Drama.
Go. All right, so in the original Thunderball, the first meeting between them happens at his home with the Shark Tanks. And the game, I believe, that they're playing, aren't they just doing some shot putting? Isn't he shooting clay pigeons or something?
Yeah. But they don't have a gambling game or anything? I thought they had like Baccarat or Chemin de Fer or something. I could be wrong.
I don't
but
think
they do. They
is.
shoot skeet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And James Bond is good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, and he has that great line. Do you know anything about guns? No, but I know something about women. Something like that. I can't remember. But, all right, Domination. So it's the 80s, so there has to be a video game in here.
Sure. Wow, there's a lot of Galagas. There's a room full of 40 Galagas.
Oh, my God.
I don't understand what happened there.
Of Galagas.
Could they... You don't need the right... Why? They didn't... So if you go to the prop house and you're like, we need a bunch of video games, they're like, here's what we got. 89 Galagas.
They probably struck a deal with them. Sponsorship or something. Product placement.
But why wouldn't everybody... Oh, so Galaga paid to have 89 Galagas?
Probably. Because there's a centipede in there, too. But I just that Domination. I want that table, this like leather bound. I wonder if that prop still exists. Probably not, or some weird.
Probably got repurposed.
Or I bet Klaus Maria Brandauer has it in his home and he's made it work.
This used to be my world domination game.
There's some guy that's probably built one of these.
I do like the way he describes the game.
Depends with whom I'm playing.
Yeah. Shall we?
Enough joking.
Join us.
Yeah, the laughing little lines is amazing with him.
These are my friends. They honored me by coming from all over the world to lose their money for my favorite charity.
And what might that be?
Children, orphan children.
You know,
So,
I'm great with children.
here we are. The game is called Domination. I designed it myself. But my problem is I've never yet found a worthy adversary.
No doubt I shall disappoint you too.
Yeah, you invented the game.
I know.
Like, what the fuck,
We'll
man?
see.
I will not tell you the rules.
Darling,
Let us begin.
this game has one objective. Power.
I mean, this prop is up there with the Time Machine for me. And like
We will be
ornate,
fighting for countries
awesome, amazing
chosen at random by the
production
machine.
design.
But for this demonstration, I will choose France. Target areas will light up on the map. Whoever hits them first with his
It's also
laser
got
beam
some sweet
will
lawnmower
score a
man
point.
level
But there's another way
computer
to win.
graphics.
With your left hand, you control 2 nuclear missiles. With your right hand, you control a shield to block my missiles. But if you fail, boom, I win the game. You will be red. I will be blue. Are you ready?
Oh, his weird cat pawing of his hand, the handles. Oh,
Begin.
the hand acting.
It's
also,
amazing.
even when he releases, when he loses,
Yeah.
it's just like,
The domination of the world begins.
We play for dollars.
And it's run by Cylon.
Target selection, Spain. Value $9,000. Play.
Could add some better sound effect work.
tough.
No, it sounds like we're listening to Moonraker.
Wins $9,000.
It's also like a weird acting exercise off between Klaus and Connery. That
armchair
Connery's
generals,
getting his ass
we will
kicked.
share the
Yeah.
And just like pretend to play video game acting.
form
Yeah.
of electric shocks.
No kidding.
One last point. If you let go the controls, you forfeit the game. As you were unaware of this, we will begin again.
Oh, what a champ.
Yeah, what a dick. He's the best.
Random target selection, Japan. Value $16,000.
That's it.
So yeah, the big fun thing James Bond gets to do in this is play video games.
Considering the lack of like character development Klaus has, he sells so much in that scene. He really you don't need anything else. But just that scene does everything for him. And that in most Bond movies, there's usually a little bit of background. I don't know anything about they're basically like Thunderball.
Yeah. I want to see more Klaus Maria Brandauer movies because
I was trying to look. I was like, he out of Africa. He won an award. He won the Academy
I
Award or
haven't
something.
seen it, and
But I
that's a
feel
John
like
Barry score too. I want to see him in a real drama and see if he's pulling these shenanigans.
Again, there's 3 composers in England.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so this is when James Bond tells her during the tango. James tells her, "Hey, your brother.
Yeah.
You think he's coming, right?
Very
Guess
callous
what?
Connery move.
Guess what? Not happening. You know why? Your boyfriend killed him."
And
Your brother's dead. Don't do
does,
anything.
Yeah, she does react, but then it never really seems to slow her down or anything like
No,
that.
it goes to I want revenge. I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, and then soon we'll be on a submarine showering together and giggling. Oh, I forgot my brother's dead.
Right.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you forget? You got Connery there.
That's true.
I guess I would forget.
So they do the tango, which takes up so many minutes.
Yeah.
Then crazy Dancy lady wants, her revenge. She wants to kill him, so she goes and kills.
The best scene.
Kills the lady he was sleeping with. James Bond takes his awesome motorcycle out, fires some rockets, skates under some things. Then his comeuppance is from.
They try to make his bike go in a truck as opposed to making him get off the bike.
Yeah.
Your gun.
Look at her outfit. It's like one of the villains from Superman 2 and a clown mixed together.
Over here?
Yeah, this is my dad moaning is why I'm attracted to women in leather hammer pants.
Spread your legs.
Her legs look twice as long as the rest of her body.
Your legs.
See, this is great.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's empowering.
This
like
movie's tone
emasculating
is pretty consistent. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the other Bond movies don't
I
keep a
am a
consistent
superior
tone like
woman.
this.
So she threatens to shoot him in a dick, right? It's like
Guess
so.
where you get the first one.
And then she forces him to admit she's the best.
Yeah,
and write it down.
Such a contrivance.
You know that making love to Fatima was the greatest pleasure of your life?
She refers to herself in the third person.
Well, to be perfectly honest, there was this girl
for a
in
second, I was
Philadelphia.
almost on her side.
Yeah.
Because you're like, yeah, James Bond is a dick to ladies. You're really sticking it to this guy who has a long history. Shoot him in the dick. I'm with you. And then she immediately switches to emotionally unbalanced because he implied she wasn't sexually pleasing.
By the way, I like the reference to Philadelphia. Like,
that's
what James Bond story did we miss?
Yeah,
I know. What
He's got some
mission was
funny
he on?
lines to really set her off in this scene.
Look at the soft focus.
Probably when he had to
too.
recover the Constitution.
Yeah, National Treasure
Right.
is a
the
reboot.
Liberty Bell
yeah.
was under fire. The line about endorsements also
I am
is
the best.
good.
Yes.
Is that here?
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. In fact,
Oh,
I was
right,
going
right.
to put you in my memoirs as number one.
This is his plan. He's going to say that, then she's going to make me write it down. It'll be an
I
excuse
know.
to get my pen out. Oh, boy.
Write it on this newspaper.
Right.
Put the Union Jack on it. The dumb pen has
Now
the Union
write
Jack
this. The greatest rapture in my life was
Rapture?
afforded me to
The
boat in
greatest
Nassau
rapture in my life.
by Fatima Blush. Sign, James Bond, 007.
Why?
Here's my thought, though. She does this to everybody. And at her home, she has all of these framed.
Yeah.
Like, that's
she's great.
007,
Yeah.
that's 006.
Let's do that. Let's make that movie.
Yeah. She's laid them out on her coffee table and then lacquered them, so it's this hard surface.
Decoupage. She's into decoupage.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that's a great idea.
For sure.
This is one of the... I feel like only 2 people in the James Bond franchise that blow up completely.
Who's the
like
other one?
from the inside out?
Who's the other one?
Yaphet Kotto for sure.
Oh, right.
Come on.
Yeah, sorry.
Milton
Kananga
Crest
balloon.
kind of blows
Kananga
up.
balloon.
I know, sorry.
Milton Crest is a bit of a head balloon situation.
Yeah, Milton Crest is a head balloon. It's not a
I understand. I understand.
entire body. You see what we're saying?
My apologies.
You see what we're saying, Aaron?
Matt. I apologize.
Where'd you get this guy? Come on.
Look how much of this movie is still left. That's crazy. I know you got to go soon, so we should probably wrap
We're moving along
Yeah.
here.
I don't wanna
think
put you guys under any kind of-
we should. Okay, so James Bond ends up on the Disco Volante, aka the Flying Saucer, where he runs into Kim Basinger, and then this happens here real quick. Where he hears the music and he's like, "Oh, I gotta take a listen to this."
Oh yeah, this is a real cuckolding.
Yeah.
So he immediately registers, "Hey, that mirror is a two-way mirror."
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry, everybody. Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. It's not really.
There's a weird thing though when he gets on the boat. Like James Bond is trying to sneak on the boat, and then he gets caught, and then he gets brought to Klaus, and Klaus is like, "Oh, hey, we're gonna set scene." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was just coming for lunch." And Klaus is like, "Yeah, we're gonna see." There's a weird vibe with the weird cordial attitude Bond villains have.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's what Bond villains
But I
do.
think whatever it was originally, like a power play or something, is all gone.
That's
where
lost.
they just seem to trying to con the other one and be like, "No, we're best friends."
Yeah.
Like for real. There's no undercurrent. There's no wink to any of this conversation. It's not
No,
like,
come hang out. You finally I needed someone to play this game with me.
Yeah. It's so strange.
But this is perhaps the most classic of James Bond tropes. A villain revealing plan.
Yeah. This is a good little
What
scene.
a wonderful view. You'll see. Every game has to have a winner. So,
Like that's not
Ciao,
written that
bello.
way. No. He Klaused it.
Margot,
Bond.
in that case, where did you hide the bombs?
You still think of escape? I must say I admire your spirit.
Oh my God.
Well, bomb number 1 is right under the president's feet in Washington, D.C.
And number 2?
Now,
Oh,
That's amazing.
His hand moves.
You were a very good secret agent. Really?
James kind of enjoys that.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's so good. I want him to do a TV show called The Klaus Maria Brandauer, where he just sits
that's
there
great.
for an hour and
No,
talks.
it's like it's all like you remake every bottle episode of sitcoms, be it Elevator
Yes.
Trapped, be it the Chinese food restaurant Seinfeld episode, but you put him into it.
Guys.
It's through his point of view.
Please. There, with the multiple universe theory, that's happening somewhere.
They came in after
We're in the wrong existence.
All right, so
We get to this horse falling.
first of all, his plan for her is to auction her off to
that's
Middle
uncomfortable.
Eastern
Sure.
people,
Sure.
and it's no good, guys. It's no good whatsoever. But then I just want to play just the audio of "What are you doing?" and them holding on for dear life as they jump off a giant building with a horse.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not music.
The music's not helping the horse that
Katie, you're gonna want to watch this.
Good shot, though. Hold on. Look at that, the silhouette.
Oh, the horse doesn't die. It just looks so fake.
And then they cut to something way too real.
Yeah, this is uncomfortably real.
There was an uproar.
They show the horse get up.
There was an uproar, though, because
But
of
there
that.
is a shot. I feel like the horse. There's like a weird horse floating deadness in one of these shots.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
right here. There's no reason for it to be like
that's the horse.
The dead horse. But they do just leave the horse behind.
Yeah, but let's talk about how great Kim Basinger looks.
I was never in dispute.
that. No one's.
See, he swims away.
She didn't get any of the Atherton genes.
And then we also haven't even talked about Felix Leiter. I like Bernie Casey as Felix.
He's
Leiter.
a real
he's a great
jerk,
Felix
though.
Leiter.
This Felix Leiter's. He comes in. He waits for the Fatima Blush.
Yeah, but he knew. He knew. He knew. She was
Sure,
gonna
that
get
is
away
true.
from it.
And he
He's
also
like
throws
box jogging.
throws a
That's little
ball
jerky.
at him like a
That,
death ball.
that was a great escape, by the way, when they have take off
Yeah.
their suits and they're in
Yes.
workout clothes.
Yeah.
And they're just capitalizing on the success of Rocky.
Yeah.
All right, here's Sean Connery on a submarine. Guys, I just want you to think. What movie is he on a submarine in?
Spy Who Loved Me.
I was thinking of The Hunt for Red October.
Yeah.
but-
Oh. Okay. Well, that was Roger Moore anyway. I thought you meant Bond. And then you got these...
Wait, what are these? What are these? Was I not paying attention last night? What is happening?
those torpedo missile...
Oh, that's
Turbine.
right. They're launching Felix.
Anytime he's on something that's moving, there's a POV shot.
Yeah. It's a way
Navy.
by time.
Yes.
Show, don't
Oh, boy.
tell.
Yeah.
See
it's really
it?
showing.
I want you to think you're Bond. Yes.
So they've defused the first bomb because they were given the instructions that it was under Washington D.C. So they immediately found that.
Yeah, we don't even really see it. I love this big set, though, this Tears of Allah cavern thing.
Oh, it's
I love
gorgeous.
a big shootout set piece.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're using Uzis, very 80s of them.
Right.
Those are actually Mac 11.
They got there because of the necklace, which he had no reason to give her and no reason not to take back because
Yeah.
he made a big, huge deal about it.
And why is she still wearing it after he's the worst man in the world?
That's-
She's
that's
still
the most
wearing
a lot
valuable
of
thing on the
things.
planet.
I guess.
That's his best hand motion, though, is the I cut your throat.
What can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Long story short, James Bond saves the day.
Do you want to hear the alternate ending that was proposed but ultimately decided against? And we'll wrap this up.
Yes.
Instead of the wink at the end of the camera, it would have been Connery and Basinger walking down the street, and they pass a man and turn around, and it's Roger Moore. He's saying, like, I'll never
Well,
do
how
this
did
again.
he? How could they?
Roger Moore was his friend, and Roger Moore was up for it, but they ultimately decided against it because they knew it would piss off Cubby Broccoli too much, I think. This is legend. Who knows if it's real, but that would have been something, huh? And then he should have been in Octopussy. How does Octopussy end? It's just him and Maud
The
Adams.
clown. The circus thing is the last thing, right?
Oh, I think
car?
they're out on her.
Oh, out on
lair.
her house lake.
I think so. Yeah, he should have just gotten to bed with them
Connery. I might as well at this
Room
point.
for one more.
Table for 3.
Yeah, Never Say Never Again. I think my sort of feeling on it after watching it last night was I'll watch it again.
Yeah, better time than I remembered. Had a good time.
If you haven't seen this one, if you're avoiding it somehow, watch it. Right?
I was avoiding it. I was stupid for doing so. Don't be me. Do not be you, and be smarter.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining us here
my
today.
pleasure. I really appreciate it.
You got anything to plug? Hannibal is
Hannibal's on tonight. Well, whenever this airs, Thursdays at 10.
Yep.
There's a movie called Regression coming out with Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson, which should be scary, and hopefully I'm still in that.
I hope you're still in that too.
Thanks, man.
You know, the beauty of it though is if you're not, you'll still get checks.
Yeah, and I still got to plug it like I was. But yeah,
great.
It's really,
and
really
you're
been
just
great.
Aaron Abrams on Twitter?
Mr. Aaron Abrams.
Mr. Aaron Abrams.
Okay.
Some jerk already took Aaron Abrams.
That's right. Some other guy. And if you guys are ever doing like a Columbo podcast where you take over everyone,
See you
I'm
tomorrow
up for
night.
That was on my other charts.
I'm into it. If I were to start of that era of podcast, I would start the Fall Guy.
Oh, I'd go Rockford Files, I think.
Oh, both fantastic.
Yeah.
Both fantastic. James Garner
guys,
lives in a trailer.
We really did it today.
Guys, we did do it.
Yeah.
Do we have a sign off? I don't even remember.
well,
yeah. I suppose it is.
Matt
James
and Matt will
Matt return with Octopus.
No, yes, Octopussy. And then For Your Eyes Only, and that's it. And then we do Spectre.
Only.
Yeah. We'll try to do those soon.
Yeah, because I
Do you
was
think
saying,
they're going to spell out Spectre like they did in this movie?
I
in
wonder.
The new one?
They
It doesn't
can't.
have.
I know.
It doesn't have the dots. It can't.
They can't.
Oh, that's
well,
got the
saying,
dots,
but
that's
I'm
true.
also saying it's so stupid.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe they change it to cool words. Maybe
Yeah.
it's like
Super passionate.
Super passionate,
Equality.
extraordinary. What if Spectre?
technologically.
What if like the real villain in this movie is James Bond?
Sure.
And Spectre is like just trying to bring peace to the world.
By taking nuclear weapons and putting them in the ocean.
Yeah, we're disposing of these properly.
It's like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. The reverse view, and never mind.
Guys, we'll see you again soon.
Very soon, hopefully. I know we say that a lot, but
We're gonna try.
bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.